All right, so the math dealer here, and this video is part 4 of a 5-part series, the whole polynomial unit test review. All right, so in this particular section, you're asked to find a polynomial function of least degree. So you're going to be given some roots and given some other information. So a few things I want you to just take note, little notes to self, right? Imaginary and irrational roots will always come in conjugate pairs. And I'm hoping you remember what the conjugate pair thing idea is, meaning that if a plus b is a root, if a plus b is a root, then a minus b would also be a root, okay? So in other words, if, 2 plus radical 6 is a root, then 2 minus radical 6 has to be a root. The other thing I want you to think about or just remember, okay, is that if you are given 2 roots, then you can actually write a quadratic equation, a very simple quadratic equation, in this form, okay? And we're going to be using that form. So what this means is that basically, if you're given the 2 roots, just know that R1 plus R2, that's my x, and then R1 times my R2, that's my product, okay? So the first one, R1 plus R2, that's the sum times x, and then R1 times R2 is the product. Okay, a lot of talking. Let's get going, all right? Leading coefficient, we're going to worry about that at the end of the whole thing. Okay, so remember, the zeros is another way of saying roots, so I don't want you to think that there's not. One of the zeros is 0. I know that sounds silly, but what I tell my students is just call x equals 0. Another root, like we said, was 2 plus radical 6. Well, if 2 plus radical 6 is a root, yeah, you know it. 2 minus radical 6 is also a root. And that's that whole conjugate pair thing, okay? Irrational roots come in conjugate pairs as well. Then the next guy, okay? If 4 plus I is a root, then 4 minus I is also a root, okay? So all of this being said, well, if x equals 0 is a root, then x was a factor. We got that one going for us. Here we go. I need to work this idea. So if I just add these roots, so in other words, what is 2 plus radical 6 and 2 minus radical 6, right? Well, those two together get me 4. So that would be the sum. And then, of course, the product, 2 plus radical 6 times 2 minus radical 6. If you recognize this to be a difference of 2 squares, the product of those two, go for it. If not, just work it out. We go 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times a negative radical 6 is negative 2 radical 6. When I do the inside, I get plus 2 radical 6. So they actually cancel. And then when I do the outsides, radical 6 times negative radical 6, what did I say? Radical 6 times negative radical 6. Well, that's negative 6 because that's a negative square root of 36. That's not an I because the negative is on the outside. So anyway, so the product ends up being, what did I just say? 4 minus 6. So the product is negative 2. That's the product. So how does this fit? Well, just like we said, x squared minus the sum plus the product. So my other factor would have been x squared minus the sum plus the product. Okay? All right, so that's another factor of this. Same idea for this one. Okay? Find the sum. So the sum of these two roots is going to be 8. And then, of course, find the product. Ooh, this is getting a little sloppy. Sorry about that. Find the product. The product would be 4 plus I times 4 minus I, which is 16 minus I squared because the outer and the inner will cancel. And I get 16 minus a negative 1, which of course you know is 17. I know that was a lot of work, but sometimes we just see those steps sometimes. So this becomes x squared minus the sum plus the product. And don't forget, I still have the x over here. Now, it says I have to multiply all this out. So right now, this is my polynomial, okay? I'm going to multiply all of this out. In doing so, now I'm going to write all my steps down because I tell you, I think this honestly is what's messing up a few of my students. So I really want to just kind of show you how this whole thing gets multiplied, okay? I got some time. All right. If you don't like it, you can just fast forward if you already know how to multiply. Distribute, distribute, distribute. So that gives me x to the 4th minus 8x cubed plus 17x squared. Now take the next one. Take negative 4x, distribute, distribute, distribute. That gives me, and I'm going to write it underneath because it's going to make it a little bit easier when I go to combine, 32x squared. And then what I say, minus 68x. And then take your last one, negative 2. Distribute, distribute, distribute. Okay, that gives me negative 2x squared. What's that? Plus 16x, I think. And then minus 34. Okay, now I'm going to add up all these guys. Okay, and remember, my x is just, he's just chilling. He's like, dude, I'm still here, right? So now when I add up all these guys, I get x to the 5th minus 12x cubed, right? Then I have a 17 plus 32 minus 2, which should be, I think, 47. Then I have a negative 68x and a positive 16x, which is a negative 52x minus 54. And then, of course, my x gets distributed. So my polynomial right now is an x to the 6, because look what I'm doing, right? Okay, x to the 6, what did I say? Minus 12x to the 4th. I think that's right there. Oh, x to the, pause. What did I do? X to the 5th. This is x to the 4th. Oh, crazy, crazy lady. Sorry about that. That's x to the 5th. Minus 12x to the 4th plus 47x cubed minus 52x squared minus 54x. I'm sorry about that. I did trip up on this. Notice that x to the 4th comes down as x to the 4th. Don't ask me why I called it the 5. That's kind of silly. Anyway, so this is what I get for this guy. Okay. Now, it did tell me the leading coefficient was 1. So in other words, I can multiply this whole thing by 1. Well, when I multiply everything by 1, I still get exactly what I started with. So my answer is that. Okay. Now, this one down here, that has a leading coefficient of negative 3. So at the very end, I would multiply everything by a negative 3. I also have a double zero at negative 7. So let's see what that entails. I'm going to slide this up. Oh, don't want to talk about part 5 yet. I know, crazy fun. Okay, so here we go. This guy up here. So a double zero at negative 7. So that means x equals negative 7 twice. Okay, and then a 0 at 2i. Well, like we said, it comes in conjugate pairs. So if 2i is a root, then negative 2i is a root. Okay, so it has to come in conjugate pairs. Now, check this out. This is x plus 7, another x plus 7, right? And then like we said before, x squared minus the sum plus the products. And I'm not like calling this x like just some extra. It has to be there. Let's not forget that. So the sum of those two roots is 0. The product of the two roots, of course, 2i times negative 2i is negative 4i squared, which is a positive 4, because I squared is a negative 1. Now, this right here multiplied out gives me x squared plus 14x plus 49. And then I'm multiplying it by x squared plus 4. Okay, so right now I have x to the 4th plus 4x squared plus 14x cubed plus, what's that, 56x plus 49x squared plus 49 times 4. Okay, so you can break out a little calculator and go like 49 times 4, right? Get 196, or you could have just known that. Okay, now the kicker is, let's clean that up a little bit. Okay, so I have x to the 4th 14. And look what I'm doing. I'm also writing in descending order. Let's not forget that. I have a 4x squared and a 49x squared. I think that makes 53x squared. You can check my math. I know, crazy lady. 56x, 196. Now, I have some polynomial with these roots, but has a leading coefficient of a negative 3. So I'm going to put in my leading coefficient here. So remember, leading coefficient, that's your A. It always has been your A. Okay? Remember the ax squared plus bx plus c, right? You remember the ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d, right? It's always been my A. So I place the A out here. But since it's a negative 3, I'm going to just put a negative 3 there and multiply it through. Okay, so when I multiply negative 3 through, I'm running out of room. So basically what I'm doing is I'm taking this, putting a negative 3 here, and distributing it all the way through. And that's how my answer is going to come out. So that's how I'm going to get a polynomial with leading coefficient of a negative 3. So negative 3x to the 4th. I take negative 3 times 14 think that's negative 42. Check my numbers, you know how I am. Negative 3 times a 53, right? That gives me what? Negative 159. Oh my God, these numbers are crazy fun, right? Then I have 56 times a 3, right? So what's that? Oh, don't forget your little x, right? So then I said 56 times 3, which is what's that? 168. Oh my goodness gracious. And then 196 times 3. Oh my God, what the heck am I doing? Crazy, crazy. What's that? 888? Oh my goodness gracious, that's a fun number. 888. Okay. So hopefully I distributed that okay. If not, you can rewind it and correct me. All right. That's the math dealer signing out for part 4 of a 5-part series. I know you can't wait. Part 5 is right around the corner.